All right. Gonna try to keep this one quick. Trying to this is optimistic Knicks fan previewing Game 6 tonight. Look, we're late in this series now, and the Knicks are definitely up against it. I'm sure they're probably like a 3 or 4 point underdog tonight. But it's time to come out and win. Jalen Brunson has 140 fourth quarter points, which leads the NBA playoffs by 39 points. That would be, again, he played the same amount of games. Conceivably, I think he might have played, he probably played one more game than SGA, who has 101. Jalen Brunson has 140. I'm going to start off with that. Clancy Towns is 89. He had 20 in one game. That's where, the key to tonight's game is get that game down in the fourth quarter and out and execute. It's that simple. Now, again, Indiana, you're going to have the Halliburton quote up there, and I believe he said it. I believe he said it. No one denied that I've seen it circulate, and I see no denials that he actually said what he said about we want to finish on Game 6. And, look, we want to finish on our home court. And I could get that point, but that's a very arrogant comment to make, and it's bulletin board material. So I need the Knicks to be personally offended, personally motivated, and I need them to come out with a real good effort tonight. It's do or die. We put ourselves in this hole. The Knicks team put ourselves in that hole. Again, at the beginning of the series, I said this burden of the ghosts of Knicks past is placed on these young men who most of them were not born. Like Mikal Bridges was born in 97. Jalen Brunson was born in 96. Josh Hart was born in 95. 95, 90, yeah, I think Lee was born in 95. These guys are young guys. Clancy Towns was born in 95. But the burden, actually, Towns might have been born in 95 or 96. The burden lies on these young men to eradicate some of the ghosts of Knicks past. But, they were there. They were there. OG didn't dribble that ball out of paint. He went up for the dunk. Knicks had that game right there. You wait to get fouled. They're gonna come with pressure. You keep your dribble, you move the ball. They have to come to you. Don't let them steal the ball. If they happen to do, you get back. If we are 5 in that scenario. Again, I'm just, spitballing off the Knicks gonna have to win a game. And then we have to get it to Game 7. And again, we all know Game 7 kind of throw the home court advantage out, even though it's going to be a crowd full of rowdy Knicks fans. I said in the last episode, it's about adjustments. You got to out-adjust the adjuster. The better coach with adjustments has been Carlisle. He's jumped ahead of his adjustments. He's not made a move, a gamble that didn't pay off. Really it came down to, even if it didn't pay off some of the moves he made, if the Knicks won the game, it's because we out-executed. Again, it was a wire-to-wire good win. I'm expecting a wire-to-wire competitive game. I'm not expecting either team. The Pacers are more likely to have a blowout tonight. The Knicks are more likely to win in a come-from-behind scenario tonight. The Pacers have shown, obviously, that they can come from behind. The Knicks have shown as well. It's, again, you're going to have to out-adjust the adjuster. Tibbs is going to, again, when we're going to see if Tibbs comes with the same stale, props to him for going to Delon Wright and Landry Shaman, who played monster. Again, you want another monster performance. Look, these guys are playing for the NBA career. That's the good part about it too. This is what when we go back to the point where Bridges called him out in the media and everybody made a big deal about that. This is what Bridges was talking about though. It wasn't like he didn't say don't play me too many minutes, but he's saying like he didn't say put me on the bench. But what he's saying is, look, I can sit for 5 or 6 minutes while you give a guy like Wright, you give a guy like Sherman. I don't know if we had, I think we did have Wright. Because I think that he said that after the trade deadline, and we traded Sims like a week or something before the trade deadline. But it's like these guys are hungry. Sometimes they can, certain matchups, and they're good matchups. They're fresher legs. These guys showed that they were ready. Wright, again, he leaves a lot to be desired offensively. He did make a 3, but he is a really good defender. And again, you gotta buy the captain some time on the bench. You gotta make the you gotta buy the time when they're gonna attack him. Brunson is absolutely the Knicks star, the Knicks closer, but we all understand what he is defensively. He's the worst of our guards defensively, unless you include Kolick. But obviously he is the franchise offensively. And it's the same thing with Karl-Anthony Towns. He's the worst of our bigs defensively. Has more ability than Brunson does. But Brunson, he can get hunted for these fouls. And once you do that, you take away a big weapon. So again, I need Tibbs to out-adjust the adjuster. You know that Carlisle's coming with adjustments. You know that Carlisle's coming with a potpourri of moves. And that's what I'm saying. These different lineup combinations can really strike something. Automatically, just by having a 5 out there you've never seen play together. They can strike certain chemistry. This is something, again, this conversation is for people who really do understand basketball, which I think a lot of my, and those few of you guys of my audience should understand. Tibbs has got to out-adjust the adjuster. With all those weapons that Carlisle's coming for an adjustment. He's coming with a game plan. And the Knicks got to, again, look, we ain't got to sit there and start playing. I ain't saying play Ariel or Porty. I'm not saying play the rookie. It might come a time where they never need to be called. Again, Precious Achiuwa should be firmly in the rotation. If Karl-Anthony Towns picks up a foul before 6 minutes, the 6-minute mark, take him out. Take him out. Take him out. If you're not ready for Mitch yet, then you bring in what's his name? Then you bring in. I would love to see a Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, front court combo. And we did see that. And again, you're gonna get good. I think I saw that in the fourth quarter for a little bit, and that actually stemmed a lot of the time. See, look, I'm far be it for me for want the Knicks to become this analytic team where everything is based on analytics and matchup, because it does, it can explain something. It can explain something against this team. It won't explain something against the next team. But we have to use it to a certain degree. You have to kind of get an idea of this, because right now we're playing a team that's second to almost to no other team offensively, and has picked up their game defensively towards the end of the season in the playoffs to where they're in this position. We're the first team to get 2.22 wins off of them in a postseason. Again, we have to put our lives on the line with our chance to go to the final on the line. And again, look, if Indiana comes out and they out-execute us and their effort is better than us, you can't put that on Tibbs. But you can't put the fact that we're down 3-2 in this hole on Tibbs. Because I still maintain we have the better roster. They have they swing it better. Like, they swing it better. They swing what they have better. They use their weapons better. We have weapons that we don't use. Again, Landry Shamet was always there. And to see what he did to T.J. McConnell and their guards in that fourth quarter, where he was defensively. Yeah, they don't got the guards to shred. Their guards are not heavy like that. So just first of all, again, with Campaign, he didn't have the size to deal with their backup guards. So again, I'm just, I'm not making any more predictions. I told you that. Because this is, but I can tell you what I expect to see in the game And it's gonna, and that's the thing. You get it down to a fourth quarter game. Look, if we get it down to the fourth quarter game and the Pacers still win, I salute my cap to them because that's how they won game 2. That's definitely how they won game 2. That's really how they won. That's really why they won game 4. They out executed. The 3 that they won were pretty much close games. Obviously, the one they stole, and the 2 that they just out executed us down the stretch, and that scared me, knowing that they could. Because the Knicks have out executed Boston and Detroit in almost every game when it came down to the fourth quarter. Knicks are the best fourth quarter team. Pacers, which that's been their Achilles heel. They've worked on that fourth quarter execution, and that again, that's Carlisle being the great coach that he is, or the very good coach that he is, adjusting to it. You're not letting everything run through Halliburton. You're making Halliburton a 2-guard, which I've always said. In the stretch of a tight game, you got to make this guy a 2-guard because all that wide open floor assists he get, you're not getting that in a tight game down the stretch where people are getting towards the finish line and they're putting more effort, they're putting more defensive focus and stuff like that. So you take away a lot of what he does. Again, they're gonna come up with everything. Again, I think if the Knicks use their roster right, if we use our starting 5 right, if we use the bench right, we should win this game. We can win this game. It's going to the atmosphere, bro, the refereeing situation, again, it was bad calls all throughout. I'm not even, like, them dudes is furniture. The inconsistently bad calls that they make, it is what it is. You know what you do? You don't foul them. You don't put yourself in a position where they can't blow the whistle. And guess what? If they we all seen the egregious non-calls. Play through it. Play stronger. Play stronger. Go up stronger. You know what? Beat them to their own game. Don't let the Knicks have got to let the point where we don't let bad officiating even phase us. Don't rely on foul calls. Go for the play the game if you're not gonna get any calls. Play the game if you're only gonna get 10 foul whistles your way. Play the game that way. And if you play from ahead, then guess what? End of the game, they got to intentionally foul you. They're gonna use the hacker Mitch. Guess what? They use the hacker Mitch and we got a 15-point lead. Mitch, make 50% of your free throws. Make 50% of your free throws. Play strong defense down the other end. The strategy will fail. The strategy will fail because it'll give us a rest. It'll give us free points. If he makes 50%, cool. That's like making 50% from the field over a certain amount of possessions. They keep doing it. Plus, it puts them in foul trouble. Plus, it puts us in the bonus at the end of quarters. Use that, against Boston, we use that ridiculous strategy to our advantage. So, I'm gonna wrap that up on this. And no predictions made here. No predictions made here. It's too personal. I'm sure the Garden. I might go down there and see if any watch parties are going on or whatever. I'm gonna see what I'm doing today, man. The last day of May. June is tomorrow. We in summer mode, man. We outside. It would be nice to see a Knicks play a June game. That will be the Game 7 on Monday. We at least made it to June if we do play Wednesday night. So, whether win or loss, we would have made it to June either way. And we haven't played June basketball since 1999. I was 20 years old in the Marine Corps at the time. That's crazy. But, let's get it, Knicks. And, I'm signing out. Peace, guys.